Let's go back to our previous story where land and housing activist Nikelwa Maqula, who is supporting Bulelani, who was forcefully evicted from his home in 2020. Let's go back to her now. Thanks for joining us again. Let's just quickly speak about the fact that Bulelani will be suing the city of Cape Town, a decision that has now been taken almost 2 years later. Just take us through that.
Well, the decision came after the city of Cape Town offered Bulelani a very low amount for dragging his dignity, because not only his dignity was dragged by those incompetent city officials who dragged him out of his house naked. It was the dignity of a black man, the dignity of a poor woman, the dignity of the landless, the dignity of the homeless person that was dragged. And the decision came after Bulelani came to us as a collective to say, comrades or leaders from different informal settlements, this is what is happening. And we said to him, that amount, it is very low, because if you look at the city of Cape Town, on average, how much is a house? How much is a house? Even in Khayelitsha, with the amount they were offering him, he wouldn't be able to afford to buy a house. Hence, the decision came. But it is not about money, because you cannot even put a price tag on dignity, because now Bulelani is a laughing stock with children, because children were present when he was being dragged out of his house naked. This is not about money, but to teach the city of Cape Town, a government in particular, a lesson that you need to take your citizens seriously.
Certainly. The fact that you're saying this is not about money, I'm just perhaps just take us through the process. So you will be suing the city of Cape Town. Are you suing them a certain amount? What exactly is going to be entailed in those court papers?
Well, I'm not at liberty to divulge such information, as that information is with the legal representatives. But City of Cape Town needs to provide services, because there are people here in the City of Cape Town, other parts of the Western Cape, even other parts of the country as well, that have been with basic services. Because if you remember, Heidi, when COVID struck the country, in 2020, a lot of people were impacted financially, because many people lost their jobs. Some were working short hours and could not afford to pay rent. As we all know, that government is dragging its feet to provide housing for the citizens of this country at large. So people were either subjected to homelessness or to occupy land. Now, and people resorted to occupy land that has been lying vacant, because our government, from a local government up until national government, is dragging its feet to release land, because City of Cape Town has a tendency of selling land to the highest bidder.
I want to actually emphasize the fact that the Western Cape, the High Court in the Western Cape ruled that the city did not apply the correct remedy in terms of demolishing shacks. And of course, you've spoken about Bulelani's dignity being dragged, especially as a black man, as a man that was in his shack and was dragged naked out of his shack. I want to ask you how Bulelani is doing. This cannot be an easy time. It's something that will stay with an individual for the rest of one's life. And obviously the decision to sue the city is one that he feels could possibly teach the city a lesson, as you mentioned. But how is he doing?
Bulelani has scars. The scars are there. The scars will always be there. But Bulelani is a very strong comrade. He's leading the struggle of the poor people. He's leading in the struggles of the landless. This incident actually has made him a better person than he was, because he's a leader. He's a leader of note. He's a leader with substance. And it's a good thing that you are bringing that court order where the High Court ruled that the city did not apply the right remedy to evict people, because the City of Cape Town is still continuing today to evict people unlawfully without court orders. Because if the City of Cape Town's law enforcement, I don't know where they get their mandate from, they will come and evict people or demolish people. People are at a state where they cannot even renovate the roof of their shacks, and it's winter now. City of Cape Town is not even providing disaster kits to those that are affected by fires, to those that will be affected even by the floods. So we are at a state where I don't even, there aren't even words to mention.
I just want to ask you one last question about the fact that there's no chance of Bulelani accepting any kind of offer. And this is not necessarily about the money, but more about really getting a message across to the city of Cape Town. Is that essentially what he's trying to do by suing the city?
Can you please repeat your question for me?
So I'm asking you that there's no chance of Bulelani accepting any offer, because we do know that a settlement was put on the table, but Bulelani is obviously not willing or wanting to accept that offer. So I'm asking you, is this because he wants to send a different kind of message to the city of Cape Town because of the way he was treated?
Well, I cannot speak as I said that I'm a land and activist. I'm a land and housing activist. I cannot speak because that is a personal question that Bulelani is the only one at liberty to answer. But as he mentioned in one of the engagements that we normally have, is that this is not about money, because his dignity can never be restored, because everybody in South Africa, even the world, knows his manhood, because he was dragged in front of the world. But more than it's having to be about the money, government needs to take the citizens seriously. We are at a position where we have a government that is an uncaring, Heidi. Our government is uncaring. The food prices are up. There's load shedding. Petrol is up. Government is not providing houses. And the people on the ground want a government that is willing to listen, not an arrogant government that only shows up in incidents, acting like like celebrities. Because we have government that is reactive. We do not have a proactive government. Because yes.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, and we really wish you all the best in this court action that you are taking against the city. That was Nikelwa Maqula, who's a Cape Town land and housing activist.